Hello, good day.
Good day. Good day. Hello, Shane. Oh, we're still here. We're still here, folks. They ain't got rid of us yet, Shane.
No. Contrary to recent speculation, football on ITV is still very much alive and kicking, as we're about to prove over the next month. And Jimmy and I are here at Wembley today to present live coverage of this afternoon's Schoolboy International between England and Italy, and to bring you the latest action as the countdown to the European Championship begins in earnest. To help us, we have a special guest, England's Neil Webb. Welcome, Neil.
Thanks, Ian.
We'll also be talking live to Scotland's Gary McALLISTAir. Good afternoon, Gary, up there in Leeds.
All right, Gary.
How you doing? You all right?
All right, son. Right, Jim, you and I will be in our usual slot throughout the European Championships on the next 3 Saturdays.
Indeed,
from Sweden.
Indeed, we will say they cannot get rid of us, can they? They can't get rid of us.
There's one or two things to tidy up.
Well,
We've been on
you know we
holiday.
had that Ladbrokes bet at the end of the year when Sunderland lost the cup. Well, Ladbrokes has said, bad luck, lads, but they're a little bit happy, I suppose, because we would have done them for a few quid. But Harrington Primary School are going to get 2 kits, compliments of Ladbrokes, which is nice. Isn't
Well,
it?
that's nice.
So the lads are doing very well. They're in Sunderland, obviously, because Malcolm
That was when
Crosby.
the bet went on, yes.
Yeah, that's when the bet went on in Sunderland, didn't it? That's why we put Sunderland for the cup, wasn't
Little
it?
consolation.
We wanted to get out there alive. That's it.
Okay, right. Now, we'll kick off this afternoon with a reminder of the conclusion to European Championships in 1988, the final in Munich between the... So, Holland, the winners in 1988 in some style. And of this year's participants, they're currently second favourites behind Germany at 7-2, along with England at 5-1, while Scotland 25-1, the outsiders were Ladbrokes. I don't believe that.
Well, I'm amazed that Scotland are 25-1, Saint. I really am. I'd have thought they'd have been 250 at 1, to be honest. And if they were, I'd have had a quid on them. But there you go.
No, you can't say that, James, you know.
Yes, I can. I just have.
Okay, right. Well, England and Scotland have been in action this week, and Jim Rosenthal's roundup begins in Helsinki.
David Platt goes to the European Championships looking well worth the millions of lira that Juventus are shelling out for him. His finishing here in Helsinki is spot on. He missed a few as well. But it's Platt's ability to arrive from deep that makes him so special. Watch his run here, number 7, outside the area, flicked on from right, and there he is. England still just the 1 defeat under Graham Taylor. Well, if Platt's the plus for England, Andy Gorham gets the Scottish accolades in Norway. It's Gorham's finest international. His angles and reflexes are perfect. In front of him, though, the Scottish defence looks alarmingly fragile. Scotland, in the end, happy to settle for 0-0 in Oslo.
Well, now, Neil, England's performance...
Yeah, I thought it was a reasonable performance, considering we went 1-0 down away in an international away from home. To come back with a 2-1 win, I thought we adapted to the conditions and everything well.
And yet the press gave you a bit of a whack. I mean, I was away, but I read the press when I came back.
Yeah, well, we're not allowed to read the press.
Well, I'll tell you what, they looked a good team, Neil.
Finland?
Yeah.
Well, they held Scotland to a draw at Hampden, so we didn't go there under any illusions.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, before we go up to Gary McALLISTAir, let's look at a game that was played last night, Jim, between France and Holland. It seemed a bit strange to me that they're playing each other with the championship so close, but there you are. Papin, the man that we're all looking forward to seeing playing for France.
I still think it doesn't matter too much. It was just a run out. I don't think anyone's going to tell everybody what they're doing, and this is Marco van Basten on the ball here. Superb bit of play, and Brian Roy knocking it in. And a question mark over Papin, you were saying.
Well, Papin's injured, or was supposedly injured, but he's looking now as if he's going to be fit.
Well, he didn't look bad there,
didn't look bad, so that's some bad news here. Gary McALLISTAir up there. We saw Holland there, our first opponents. Now, obviously, we haven't got an easy group, but Holland look to be really on form, don't they?
Yeah, well, the 3 main players in their team are the 3 guys at Milan, AC Milan, and they went through a season without losing a game, so they're obviously confident. But we know what we're up against. We watch them every week on TV when we watch the Sky and that. So Scotland.
Thank you very much. Watch the Sky.
We don't have a dish. We never see it. Yeah, go on.
We definitely know what we're up against. It's not going to be easy, but Scotland tend to do well when they're underdogs.
What's the general mood of the Scottish team then, Gary?
Well, we've been away on tour. We've been to Canada and America, and then the game over in Norway, and it's been very low profile and relaxed. Really, we've not been put under any pressure really from the manager. and it's been good because the team spirit has been good through the campaign, and I think it's heightened it by these tours.
Now, your little pal Gordon Strachan won't be there, decided to give it up. That's a bit of a blow, I should think, for Scotland.
Yeah, it's a bit of a blow for me personally as well, because, you know, I've got quite a good understanding with Gordon. But as far as Scotland is concerned, yeah, it's a major blow, because he came back in during the European Championship campaign there, and he did a great job for Scotland. And he's a big influence in the dressing room and on the park, so he'll be missed. But I'm led to believe, I think he's come up to watch the games, and he'll be in and around the dressing room and the hotel.
Well, the old bookies have written you off, Gary, like 25 to 1. Do you reckon that's fair odds?
Well, looking at the 7 other sides, it might be. Maybe Denmark are slightly better priced, but we're not a bad each way bet there.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
We might have a little wager on that. Yeah.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you going to have a wager on it?
Well, Neil England's first game against Denmark, who have got in through the back door, as it were, Yugoslavia not playing. Now, Michael Laudrup has had a fallout with the coach, won't be playing. Now, we were looking at Michael Laudrup playing against... and he was a marvellous player, Laudrup, and you wonder why, you know, they can leave a player of this quality out of the side.
Well, it's obviously a personal thing between him and the coach of Denmark, but he's had a tremendous season with Barcelona as well, and it's probably in our favour that he has had a bit of a...
How do you see England playing against Denmark? Is it more of an advantage to you or less an advantage to
I don't think so. I think Denmark they're kept in training, but they've been under no pressure whatsoever. They've been umming and ahhing whether they're going to get in the tournament, and they can go there so relaxed. There's 20 miles from their own country, so they're basically at home, and it's going to be probably a possible difficult opener for us.
You think it may even be tougher than Yugoslavia would have been?
Possibly, because Yugoslavia were in a little bit of a quandary between themselves.
Would you believe we've got a goal of yours standing by? Are you going to claim this? This is what I want to know. Now you're going out live to the nation. There's 20 million people watching this show.
This is against Hungary, wasn't it?
This is Hungary, yeah.
This is Hungary. This was the ball which was crossed over, and you were superb, the power there. But did it not come off the Hungarian? Or
it just slightly touched his toe as it went in, but I'm still claiming it.
You're claiming it,
First goal for 4 years,
All right,
our man up there in Leeds, Gary McAllistair, got a goal of yours, Gary, standing by. This was against Switzerland, and
this was a
Greavsie said you were offside. I don't believe it.
You must have had pneumonia hanging around for this.
It's my goal, though.
Yes.
Thanks, Gary.
Now, you two fellas at midfield players, Gary, we'll be looking for, obviously, goals from you for Scotland, and English boys will be looking goals from Neil. Do you see it that way? I mean, are both of you expecting to score goals over there? Is that the team plan to get you forward?
Yeah. We've been lining up with 3 in the middle of the park, with Stuart McCall, sort of the anchor man, looking to Paul McStay to build the play, and me to try and get him help the guys up front. So I'm looking to maybe go on the score sheet. It'd be nice to score against one of these good teams.
Good boy. Neil?
It will.
Well, we're definitely playing an attacking formation like we did in Finland. We played with 6 basic people that want to get forward. We've obviously, with David Platt's tremendous ability of timing his runs into the box. Yes. And hopefully, if I'm selected, I can get in there as well.
Good.
Which, of course, you're good at, may I say.
Yes. Yeah, we've got a record coming up. Scotland haven't got a record for this championship, have they, Gary? A song record.
That's too much for the players' pool the last time. It cost us $6,000. We lost $6,000 making a record. It was that good.
Haven't heard you sing. No wonder. Yeah. Well, we've got ITV's song.
It's we called, didn't bid enough.
You are the number one. ITV theme, Jim, do you like it?
Won't appear on Top of the Pops, will it? That's BBC though, isn't it? Yeah.
No. Will England be number one? That's the thing. We've got to ask you,
Neil, do you think England will be number one in this championship?
I think that the mood that the squad's in and the management's in, that we'll definitely get into the final. Yeah.
You get into the final.
That's being very confident.
Very nice, very nicely
But you've
spoken.
got to go in positively.
Nicely spoken, young sir. And what about you, Gary?
Well, nobody expected us to get through the qualifying, so if we can qualify through the group we're in, it's going to be no bad. I think we've got a wee chance of getting through the group here.
Well, good luck to both of you. Good luck, Gary.
Thank you.
Well, Mel.
Thanks,
Okay. Right, we'll see you later, Gary. Just hang on there. Well, the ITV team will bring you all over the action in the next 3 weeks, with our whole operation being presented from Sweden. Indeed, Gabriel Clark is already in Stockholm, and he can bring us up to date with how the preparations are going over there in Stockholm.
UEFA announced Euro 92 was coming to Sweden 4 years ago. It's taken some of the locals almost that long to get used to the idea, but with the big kick-off just 4 days away now, there's no escaping the fact that football is top of the agenda. Shops, cafes and bars are licking their lips at the prospect of record takings. The exchange rate will see to it that the tourist industry banks around £40 million over the next month. Whether the Swedish team can hit the jackpot in quite the same manner is open to question, but the squad have enjoyed 2 weeks' intensive preparation for Wednesday's vital opening match against France at the Rosunda Stadium in Stockholm. The stage for all Sweden's matches, and don't be surprised if Arsenal's Anders Limpar takes a leading role, because his elder brother Roberts is a groundsman at the Rosunda, and for the last 3 months Robert's been working round the clock to make sure it'll be home sweet home for the famous one in the family. What does Anders think of the job?
I don't really know, but I think he's like it.
You've given him a few tips about
the
stadium and how it's
left field it's better. And,
Yeah, I hope so. I hope he cuts the grass very short there, so I can run there.
Will all the family be watching your games?
Yeah, all the family and all the rest of the friends and everything, because this is my hometown and I live 5 minutes from the stadium.
How well will Sweden do?
100%.
Really?
I believe, yes. All the national team gonna get 100%.
And Anders?
110.
The Swedish manager Tommy Svensson isn't quite as confident. He rates France and England clear favourites in Group 1. And Denmark's late arrival has complicated things for the Swedish police, who've spent £12 million on training and security. But that was before the news that an estimated 15,000 Danes will be on the ferry from Copenhagen to Malmö in the next few days. Beer tents are one way the organisers aim to cope with that overflow. They opened the biggest in Stockholm this week, where cheaper than average drink will be available on match days to all fans. Some are concerned that will only encourage confrontation, but those in charge are convinced it's the best way of making sure everyone is on the same side.
As they're organising things now, they ask for trouble. We're not asking for trouble. We think people understand when the people come together, meet each other, talk together, everybody see that everybody's the same. And we're coming here for football. Well, let's enjoy it.
Concerts are also being planned for supporters, but across the road from the Stockholm tent, this is the main attraction for the locals. Bungee jumping is the latest craze to hit Sweden. It gets a bit busy here during the summer, fellas, but I think, Thomas, you can pencil them in for next weekend.
No problem. Ian and Jimmy, get over here.
We'll be there. Anders Carlsberg, probably the best organiser in the world, I would have thought.
He's organised the bungee jumping.
Bungee jumping, now, I think that's very good. And I feel that all our people at home should write in to let us know which ITV presenter you'd like to see doing the bungee jumping. And you spell it ELTONWELSBY, Elton Wellesby.
Gary, are you still with us up there?
Oh, yeah.
What about that, the beer tents? I mean, the Scottish fans should be happy with that one.
Well, I see when I was back up the road there that the Scottish fans, they've not sold many tickets because I think they've been a bit scared about the prices over there.
Yes.
So there'll probably be a rush for tickets now that these beer tents are there.
The cheap beer. What about your preparation then when you get there? What have you got lined up? Has Andy got anything up his sleeve there?
We go to Largs on Monday, and then we fly from Glasgow on Tuesday. We've just got a couple of days in the hotel there. We've got 2 days training. Then we go to the stadium, And that's it, really. We're ready for the Dutch.
And then you're off and underway. Normally, when you play in World Cups and games, he usually has like someone like Andy Cameron over, you know, comedian, whatever, keep the boys happy up there.
I think they've been mentioned that Wet might be coming over to do a wee turn for us.
Oh, very nice.
Really? Yeah.
You could sell tickets for that one, could you?
Let's hope you don't play that way.
No chance. Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Of course, it doesn't need saying that I wish you all the best, son.
Thanks, Ian. Cheers, Jimmy.
Thanks for coming along, Gary.
Cheers.
Good luck to you, mate.
I believe you.
Okay.
Well done.
See you later.
Now, as you know, Jim, I was over in Barbados.
Barbados?
Barbados on my holiday.
Was you, really?
How
much do you get paid?
Well, I've got to show you this. This is very fun. When I was there, Big Wes Hall, you know, the ex-fast bowler, West Indian fast bowler, one of the greatest ever, is in charge of the tourism, and he said to me, our team have got a World Cup game up. We're 2-1 down from the first leg. Can you go and have a little bit of
And you was coaching them?
6 o'clock in the morning, this was.
That's the earliest you've ever been outside.
Yeah, I went straight from a night out.
And this was the result of your coaching, wasn't it?
Well, this is it. We're 0-0 at half-time, going well.
Oh, that's bad.
And then
you're 1-0 down.
And then we needed to score
But
3.
this is where your coaching really came into its
I
own,
said to these
it?
boys, look, lads, whatever you do,
don't go too down. And this is what happened. Yes.
Do you think the marking was good?
I think you've done a pretty good job with the coaching here.
Well, here's me, Dwight York, Yorkie. We know all about him anyway. That was a lovely ball. Yeah. But by that time, of course, our boys had retired.
That's right. And did you leave Barbados straight away after that? Or?
No, funny enough, on the night out with the boys in Barbados. Well, they were terrific. I mean, football there is not as big as it is in Trinidad and Tobago. You know, I mean, they're really the most advanced of the Caribbean islands in Trinidad. But the Barbados boys, like, the battle away, and they're very keen. Everybody's playing, Jim. Yes. You think it's all cricket over there, but it's not.
No, they
play
their football.
The football, they love the football over there.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
I had a nice time anyway. Right, now a chance.
I hope you did, going all the way to Barbados.
Now a chance for those of you who haven't yet seen the playoff finals, which took place at Wembley over the Whitsun weekend, to catch up, including me. Yeah. Now, a place at stake,
I was here.
In the Premier League and in the new first and second divisions of the Football League. Now, Blackpool missed out after Dave Bamber's penalty miss a year ago, and they had to go through the same nail-biting process again this year, as our man John Helm reports.
Both Blackpool and Scunthorpe have suffered the agonies of playoff defeats in recent seasons, and it was perhaps poetic justice that Bamber, inconsolable a year ago, should steer Blackpool ahead from an awkward angle. Blackpool's top scorer on the mark again. It was scant consolation, but Scunthorpe did score the best goal of the entire weekend. A really crisp shot from Tony Dawes, making it 1-1 just after half-time. And that was the way of it after extra time too, so Scunthorpe, manager Bill Green couldn't bear to look. We're into a penalty shootout, and McALLISTAIR saving Graham Alexander's effort there. 3-3 at that point. Blackpool's David Ayres stepped up next, and he was spot on. So it was left to another teenager for Scunthorpe to stay alive, Jason White. He missed. Blackpool were promoted, and White inconsolable himself. Stockport County were at Wembley for the second successive Sunday. Beaten in the Autoglass Trophy final by Stoke, they went behind controversially to Ken Charlery's header for Peterborough. Shades of Jeff Hurst, 1966 and all that. Did the ball cross the line? The linesman said it did, and that's all that matters. Ironically, the linesman was again the central figure when he nipped Kevin Francis's celebrations in the bud. A marginal offside decision here. No goal, but Stockport came again. Francis, so bitterly disappointed on this occasion, still had to have a word in the game. With just 2 minutes to go, Stockport summoned one last assault, and this time there was nothing to stop the league's tallest player. 6'7" Francis must have felt as tall as the Twin Peaks themselves. But within 60 seconds, County's chins hit the floor again, and this time no question about the validity of Charlery's strike, which carried Peterborough into the new First Division. The last Premier League spot was contested between Kenny Dalglish's Blackburn and Brian Little's Leicester. First blood to the Red Rose, when David Speedy persuaded referee George Courtney in his last match to point to the penalty spot. The replay clearly showed Steve Walsh holding off Speedy. Leicester's protests fell on deaf ears. Mike Newell's conversion had his manager beaming from ear to ear. Blackburn, who rather tottered into the playoffs despite the chairman's spending spree, had the chance to clinch it when Carl Muggleton upended Mark Atkins. This time, though, Newell couldn't repeat the trick. That all led to a frantic finale, and Blackburn were the ones praying for the final whistle when Tommy Wright blasted Leicester's last chance into orbit.
So Kenny Dalglish in the Premier, and that's good news for you, Neil, because another local derby for you, really.
Yeah, it's a local derby for us, so we're pleased about that.
I wonder what they'll do with Kenny now that it's all Seaton Stadium. Will he get a seat, do you think?
Who can?
Yeah.
I don't know, really. I think he'll want to sit down in that dugout, won't he?
No, but you know, in the First Division,
they're not
and
allowed
the Football
to,
League,
are they?
everybody's got to sit down in that one, but not in the Premier. So,
well, I don't know. I mean, are we part of the Premier or what? No,
we
we're
can
not,
still talk about it.
Well, can we as well? Won't we just as well? Oh,
but I think they'll be a good addition to the First Division because again, Blackburn Rovers, Neil.
I think Leicester would have been a better addition, but there you go.
You think so?
You living in the central region would say that, Jimmy. Yeah. No, I think they play good football and they've got some good players there, so yeah, they've taken a long time to get up, but they're fully deserved.
And Kenny's knowledge of the First Division, of course, and the players he needs, and of course he got the money to buy them.
I think that's the point here, and I was watching it. I was doing the playoffs, as Neil said, for Central, and really you look at Blackburn and you say they've got to do something pretty desperate to stay in that Premier League, because the side out here, in fairness, didn't really look good enough to stay there. So I think you're going to have to buy a few, but you can't comment on that because you might get kicked.
But they've got the money, which is the main thing. The chairman has got the money up.
The chairman's got the money, all right, hasn't he?
Kenny's got the money.
Kenny's got the money. Who's the richest, the chairman or Kenny? We don't know.
But okay, then we'll move on at that stage. Now, an exclusive for you. It's a momentous time for the game with so many things changing so rapidly, and one thing that's set to change from the start of next season is the colour of the referee's kit. Now, to explain, we can join Jim Rosenthal down on the Wembley pitch with the man who refereed the 1974 World Cup final, Jack Taylor.
Saint, thanks very much indeed, and welcome to the Wembley Clothes Show. Jack Taylor, tell us what it's all about. New gear for the refs next season.
It's all about change. Everything is changing. The referee's image for the last 100 years has been the so-and-so in black. And we feel, and it's in the referee's interest, maybe you ought to bring a little bit more colour to the game. So therefore, in their interest, as I say, there's a deal worth £160,000 from Buckner over 2 years, which will create further education and stimulate the game.
Well, we haven't got a catwalk, but we've got two models. The cup final referee, Philip Don, and Paul Alcock in the yellow, which is the change strip, I believe.
Yeah, purple is the #1 colour. Yellow is the next colour, and we always have black as a fallback. So in point of fact, all league officials, Football League, will have 3 kits. They will have £30,000 per year for training, which is going to be good news.
It's pretty snappy gear, isn't it, really? Can you see it becoming a fashion item in the street?
Yes, I can. After all, there's 24,000 registered referees in this country. We have young people, we have people with it, we have changes, and I really think it'll cotton on, not just with referees. I mean, who wants to wear black on the beach in Mallorca? That can go down very, very well indeed.
Right, Jack, let's just have a word with Philip Don. I mean, you'd have had one or two things pretty unkind, rhyming slang and things chanted about you in the black. Any idea what might happen to you now?
Hopefully the spectators will be lost for words, but I doubt it. We're moving with the times. It's a very comfortable kit, and it's going to heighten the profile of referees.
And what are your views about it, Paul?
Well, I suppose they'll very quickly think up a song for the yellow kit, but I think they'll be stumped on the first kit. But I don't mind at all. We're going out there now. We're actually moving with the times of the games, and high profile, that's what it's all about.
Good. Well, it all looks very smart down here, and I suppose, fellas, the first competition for the new season will be think up a suitable clean rhyme for the new refereeing kit.
Yeah, thanks.
Who's that lemon in the lemon strip? It's got to be, isn't it? And what's the other one? Can we say it on air?
No,
yeah.
Go on.
Who's that puff playing Pope in the purple strip? Because they'll think that, yeah.
But the one thing about that, Jim, which I think is good, is that the money is going into a programme to train referees.
Yeah.
Now, football clubs, Manchester United, for instance, have got a new kit for next season, which, I mean, parents up and down the country, Neil, you know, they go mad every year. The teams are changing their kit, and the kids have got to go out and buy them. But there's no money goes into the game in any way. It just goes into the pocket of the club, doesn't it?
That's right. The kits change every 2 years. We've now having a 5-year-old myself. Like he wants the new kit all the time to be up with fashion. So it is expensive for them. And
what if he wants to be a referee? You've got to get that kit as well.
I'm not getting the purple one. I know that.
Not now. You can't. Can you?
Not now after
We've done it now, haven't we? Look at our shirts. Are you impressed with them?
Yeah,
what's your shirt there, Saint? Scotland forever. What's this United kit going to look like anyway? It's a lace-up kit or something?
It's a lace-up. It's a throwback to the 1930s where there's a wee bit of a lace tie-up from about here to the top to the neck. So if you do it up in...
So if someone misses a goal, you can
strangle them a wee bit.
I would think I would see that at half-time, as well, you know, the manager getting the two ends of it and giving it a right tug.
Could be some interesting confrontations, I would imagine.
And how?
And what's your away kit? Colours?
Away kit's still blue, but it's a darker blue. It's more blue and black this year rather than blue and white as it was last year.
And do you have a third alternative?
A third, I believe it's going to be yellow and green, but I'm not sure
very
about
nice.
that.
Very nice. Very
might
nice.
Clash with the referee, actually.
Yeah, well, we won't be watching that, will we?
Right, okay. Well,
because some of us don't have a dish.
Yeah, but we can get a job with Alan Sugar, you know. Alan Sugar might give us a job.
It's a rep knocking out dishes, yeah.
Okay, right. Well, before we turn our attention to today's action here at Wembley, where England and Italy schoolboys will do battle for the Smiths Crisp International Shield, let's just point you towards the programmes that are coming up on ITV next week. On Tuesday at 11:40, we have a full preview of the European Championships with reports and opinion from all our team, including Ron Atkinson and Jackie Charlton. On Wednesday, we have the opening match live at 7 o'clock, the host Sweden against the 1984 winners France. And on Thursday, 10:40, we have highlights of England's opening match against Denmark from Malmo. On Friday, Scotland's kick-off against Holland. Big one, that match, live on ITV. And then on Saturday, Jimmy and I return with our first of our 3 European Championship specials. And on Sunday, live coverage from 3:45 of England's most enticing match against the French in Malmo. Well, all that in the next week on ITV. Well, of course, that game against France, you played them quite recently. Was it this season you played France and beat them at Wembley?
We played them here in February,
yeah. Now, I mean, the win there must have given you a bit of confidence, surely.
Yeah, it did, because they were unbeaten for 2 years since Scotland beat them last time. I thought I mentioned that.
Thank you very much.
And but you don't really take a lot of notice of friendly internationals, although it was good for us.
Actually, you got the feeling, Neil, that he was quite pleased to lose this game in some ways. Platini, he sort of looked relieved that the pressure of 2 years of not being beaten.
That's right, because they were probably going to the Champions. Well, they are.
Well, they're not favourites now, but it
something.
Probably suits them, actually.
Yeah.
But there's Gary getting one in eventually. So.
Actually, but they're having a bad time since that. I mean, since that defeat by England, you know, I think they haven't won in '92. So you think that's a good preparation?
I personally think that all of the games, whoever plays out there, the Scotland, England, all the teams that are involved in this tournament are playing each other, and they're all tough games, Ian.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters in the past what the results have been. It's going to be tough out in Sweden.
Well, and we've got Germany, of course, who we haven't mentioned as yet.
Yeah,
and their build-up's not been too impressive.
No, it isn't. But you want to bet?
No, I don't. No, I wouldn't bet.
No, but
they'll miss Mateus, of course.
They will indeed.
Class player.
They will indeed. And Holland are just coming right. They're looking very good. So really, as I say, I think every game, and that's the beauty of the European Championships, is that every game is very important, and you've got to go out and establish the situation and win the match, haven't you? That's the nature of the Europeans.
Would you think it's a better tournament than the World Cup?
It's a harder one to win, I would think, definitely, because there's only 8 teams, and you have to get a result in the first game, whether it's a draw or obviously a win. To lose like we did in Germany in '88, we were sort of up against it straight away, and it's hard to get out of that situation.
That's right.
So you need a good result early on.
Okay, so it's a key one, the first one. Anyway, we'll take a break there. When we return, we'll be concentrating on today's action here at Wembley, so don't go away.
And